Well, Donna Hrinak knows success. Currently the president of Boeing Latin America, she transitioned to the private sector after a prestigious career in the U.S. government. Joel Richards met with Hrinak to discuss her future and why she thinks women are held to a higher standard than men.
At a recent high-powered investment forum hosted in Latin America, business leaders from around the world were invited. The number of male to female speakers was 9-1.
Well, we did comment on the fact that many of the speakers are white males.
President of Boeing Latin America since 2014, Donna Hrinak was one of the few women invited. Her career has taken her from the public to the private sector, and over the past 40 years, she has seen firsthand major changes in women's position in the workplace.
You know, I came into the public sector was back in the 1970s, right? I mean, these are the days when women Foreign Service officers were still being, in their evaluations, you would have comments like, not only is she a great economic officer, but she looks good in a miniskirt. You could get away with that in those days, right? You can't get away with that anymore. So I've seen changes in both the public and the private sector, but, you know, none of these changes came easy, right? And within the State Department, for example, a lot of opportunities open for women because women in the department took the U.S. government to court, and you had to fight the battles.
Hrinak has worked for much of her career in Latin America, a region where machismo is strong, and yet until recently there were 3 female presidents in power, including Brazil's now impeached Dilma Rousseff.
I think that women are generally held to higher scrutiny than men are. You know, I don't remember people talking, you know, it's the old story about what Lula wore to presidential summits, right? They didn't talk about what Dilma wore, right? So I think that there is still a different standard in treating women. I think we see that in the United States now, you know, with Hillary. I think your family relationships are discussed and reviewed more closely than a man's relationships are. You know, how do you get along with your children? Are you there for your husband? That kind of thing. Men just don't get asked that.
Hrinak disagrees that for women it's a question of finding balance between family and work life.
I think it implies that you've got work here and you've got your life here. And I just don't see it that way. I think that work is a very integral part of life, and I think it has to be for women. I think it's really important for women to understand that if they make the choice not to participate in the workforce, to work at home, because every mother is a working mother, right? But if you make that choice and it's your choice, there's a price to pay for any choice. I think it's important for women to understand that not working outside the home means that, you know, at the end of the day, you're paying a price in terms of your ability to support yourself and someday your family if you need to do that.
Having held several US ambassadorships in Latin America and now in a senior position in the private sector, Hrinak says there may yet be another phase ahead for her career.
You know, when I joined the government, I joined when I was 22, right? And so I said I didn't want to be 65 and wonder if I could have ever done anything else. So when I had the chance to leave, I did, and I've been in the private sector for, 12 years now this year. And when I did that, someone said, when you'll have a third chapter, you'll want to work for a nonprofit, you'll want to manage some kind of an NGO or something. And so, you know, I think that there may be a third chapter.